She's not what you'd expect. She's tough and feisty, but gentle and tender. She makes millions and gives millions to the poor. She cries, she laughs, she teaches, she comforts. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We are so blessed that you decided to join us again today, and hopefully you'll join us tomorrow too. Today we are going to obviously talk about your success, as is something that we talk about every day, with a little bit of a twist. You see, it's kind of popular consensus out there that you can have either a successful career or a successful marriage, but you cannot have both. Well, I'm here to tell you today that we're going to shatter that lie, because it is a lie. You actually can have both, and it is important that you have both. What if it was possible for you, my friend, to attain success in all areas of your life? What if it was possible? Well, here on the Dani Johnson Show, you know, we love to shatter the status quo of success that basically says sacrifice your whole life in order to have what you want. And then you can write a check for whatever mistakes you made in your marriage. You could write a check and try to buy back the time that you lost with your kids. I'm telling you, that doesn't work. I heard that lie 26 years ago. And did I go and try to live it? You know, I was told in the very beginning of my business days that if I just sacrifice for 7 years, if I go out and I work my tail off and I sacrifice everything, you know, after 7 years, I'll have so much money that I could just write a check and fix all the problems. That was a lie. I couldn't fix any of the problems with a check. How do you fix a problem with your marriage with a check? You can't. How do you buy back the time you lost with your children when you had somebody else raising your kids? You know, it was that when I left in the morning, my kids were asleep. When I came home at night, my kids were asleep. We never shared meals together. And then the one day a week that I was home, I was busy doing laundry and cleaning up the house and stressed out. I wasn't a mother at all. I was not a parent. Just because I gave birth didn't make me a mom. A mom actually needs to be involved. A father needs to be involved with their children. But unfortunately, our culture is pressing in on us with this kind of pressure, telling us that if we're going to be successful, that's what the picture looks like. Well, I got to tell you, first of all, I changed that after I hit a nervous breakdown and a heart attack, and I redefined success for me. And I found a way on a part-time basis to still make millions of dollars, which now just gets given away to the poor, and be able to keep my family in order. I'm a mom. I have 5 children. I've been sleeping with the same man for 23, almost 24 years, coming up here soon. 24 years in the same bed with the same man. And oh yes, we have had our ups and downs, just like you've had your ups and downs. We're at least honest about them. I hope you're honest about yours too. But we've had, you know, moments of bliss, and we do. We have a marriage that's just filled with bliss and love and passion and all of that, and laughter, separated by earthquakes, tsunamis, and hurricanes, sometimes all in the same day, sometimes all in the same hour. But the reality is that we've learned skills to help move us through some of those seasons of life, and have managed to be able to build successful companies at the same time. And we have learned how to annihilate debt in a very short period of time. So that's why we bring this show to you every single day, because you really can have it all. You really can, if you're willing to learn. You're willing to work, and you're willing to give some new strategies a try. So today, let's go ahead and talk about that. Is your career killing you? Your business or your job, whatever it is that you have, is it like sucking the life out of your relationships, especially your marriage? Is it sucking the life out of the time that you desire to be with your spouse? And maybe you're on the flip side of it. Maybe your spouse is the one that is working nonstop, and you feel like the computer is never turned off or shut down or put away, but that computer is always invited into the bedroom. It's invited into the living room. That little teeny tiny computer is in their hand during dinner time. Or maybe they've got their iPad out. Whatever form of technology, they're still working. And even on vacation, the computer is still on. The text messaging is still happening. The email is still being read, even though you're supposed to be with each other. Have you found yourself in that situation? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it today, and let's figure out how we can solve those kinds of issues. We're going to take our first caller from New York, Allison. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani. My situation is actually current. I'm a small business owner, and I just went back to work full-time as a high school math teacher. I went through some financial difficulties. Single mom, two incredibly amazing girls. I'm very, very blessed, high honor roll, they're in sports and all that good stuff. My biggest challenge is really trying to find balance between all of that, building my business back up so I can just do that. And at the same time, I really, truly want to find, the man of my dreams, if you will, so I can build, another relationship and actually get married again. Because I did it all wrong the first time, 10 years ago. So that's where I'm at. And
okay, so let's tackle this. Let's tackle this. This is not that difficult. First of all, you're a single mom. How old are your kids?
Yeah. They are 12 and 14.
Okay, cool. So you literally have a few years left before they are moving on, like whether it's to college or marriage or whatever. You have just a few years left. You have 4 years with one, 6 years with the other before they start to, take on their own life and do pretty much their own thing. Okay, so here's would be my recommendation. First of all, I wouldn't even be thinking about a man being introduced into the family until after the girls are gone. I said the same exact thing to my father-in-law, and I was so proud of him that he did this, not because I talked to him about it, but because I got to watch something amazing happen. It's unfortunate that your relationship with their father came apart, and that's unfortunate. And that has caused a huge adjustment on your daughters, and it sounds like they've adjusted really, really well. Good job, Mom, and good job, Dad, because the adjustment is is a team effort, and you guys have done a good job with not having more suffering happen on the kids due to the divorce. So, but at the same time, why should your daughters share their mother with now another man? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that in that. Kind of selfish, I suppose.
You let it right out of your mouth there.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
You let it right out of your mouth. That's humility right there. And so, you know what? 4 to 6 years is nothing. You know how fast 4 to 6 years passes by, right, babe?
Yeah,
so,
it goes by
so don't even go there. Don't even go there. What I would do in your situation is I would 100% put my focus into my girls because, again, Mom and Dad are not together. So why do we have to have another suffering of distracting Mom with another man? Do you know what I mean? Give them 100% of you. All right. And that's the best part of family that you can give your girls, especially in these teen years. So just get the guy thing out of your head. Once the second one graduates from high school, then start entertaining dating if you choose to even go there at that point, right? If you choose to go there. But just shut that thing off and relax. You are not less of a woman because you're single. And your family is not less because you're not remarried and have another man in your daughter's lives. They already have a father. They don't need another one. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
So that's what I would say there. Now, as far as business, because look at this. You're saying I have a part-time business, I'm a full-time teacher, and you're looking for a man, and you have these 2 daughters. What are you thinking?
Kind of crazy, huh?
Yeah, I would think so. That's a great way to shoot yourself in the head. Okay, so just get the guy thing out. Forget about that. You got 6 years to think about that. 6 years. Don't even think about it for 6 years. Okay, so now we're talking about, all right, I'm going to put my focus into my girls and just really maximize this time. Now, again, I'm talking to you from the place of I have 3 married children. I only have 2 kids left in the home. One is 17 and a half. The other is about to turn 16. Do you know how horrible that is?
Yes, I do. Because when you were talking about their ages, it's just like it seems like my daughter was just born and she's 12.
Exactly.
So crazy.
Exactly.
Crazy.
And so I would really be maximizing. They have got to be your first physical priority. Is the girls.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay. God first, the girls next. All right. So when it comes now to the business, I want you to just set hours that you're willing to work now. With your 2 daughters, it might be 10 hours a week. And whatever happens in those 10 hours a week is whatever happens in those 10 hours a week. Do not be under the pressure of trying to replace an income right now. Come on, you're still going to be young 6 years from now. So I'm not saying don't build your part-time business, but I'm saying put 10 hours a weekend, give your best in those 10 hours a week. Give your best
structured with my
at the
time.
school.
Yeah,
Exactly. Be very structured with the time. Time Secrets is a really powerful program that I learned 19 years ago. And now for 19 years, I've not worked more than 20 hours a week. And I'm the mother of the house and I'm the wife of the house because I learned how to manage my time well. And so I give the 20 hours a week, and whatever doesn't get done, it's just what doesn't get done. And if it means that that my goals are put out a little bit longer, so what? I'm still going to achieve those goals because my overarching number one most important goal is keeping balance in my life and keeping my husband my first physical priority and my second, my children. So my business should never interfere mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or physically with those other relationships. So I can give 20 hours a week, and all I can do in those 20 hours a week, I'm going to be really, really productive. And if there's a skill that I'm lacking, I'm going to invest time into learning new skills so I can get better during my 20 hours a week. Okay? So that would be my recommendation of what to do there. Allison, I'm excited for you. I'm excited about what is going to take place with your family, with your girls, and I know that you will not regret the time that you have with them. These last 6 years that you have, maximize that time. Super important. Okay, well, yeah, Time Secrets, super important. Oh, I'm telling you, my friend, that was the greatest thing that ever happened to me because here I was, I had had a nervous breakdown and a heart attack. My marriage was toxic and I was not a mother. I gave birth, but I was not a mother. And you know, somebody hit me upside the head stupid, and it was like the best conversation I could have ever had. There's very few conversations I've had with people that have completely changed the entire course of my life, and this is one of them. This gentleman who was a vice president of a large corporation had said to me, he read me like a book. He says, "You hate your husband, you have no life, someone else is raising your kids. You are married to your career." And I just started bawling. Like, what? Like, how did he know? He says, "Dani, it's written all over you." And I just humbled myself and I said, "What do you recommend?" He goes, "You and your husband need to go away every 3 to 4 months for a long weekend and fall in love again." I'm like, ew, do I have to go with him? I hated him at the time and he hated me. He said, "You need to hire someone to show you how to manage your time." Oh my gosh. And just so happened, my counselor knew how to do that already. And that was the very first thing that we worked on. That was 19 years ago. And for 19 years, I've worked hard to keep my priorities straight. And what has it done? It has exponentially grew my income, but I did not put in more hours. You can learn how to do that. Time Secrets, DaniJohnson.com. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with the next segment of the Dani Johnson Show right after this.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Imagine living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel made of waste material on top of old mining tunnels that could explode and sink your home at any moment. Imagine no water to drink, no safe place to raise your children, no food for your starving baby. Imagine that your kids can't learn to read because they have to work to support the family instead of going to school. Could you imagine living in that kind of fear and hopelessness? This is exactly what families are dealing with in the poverty-stricken village of Santa Pancha, Nicaragua. These families can barely meet their basic food, water, and housing needs. We are transforming that village. Be a part of this miracle. I want you to go to the website now and learn how you can help. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha. There you can join with other warriors against poverty and help bring a miraculous transformation to Santa Pancha. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org. Hi, this is Dani Johnson. Let me ask you something. Do you dream about doing hair and makeup professionally? Have you ever noticed that one stylist can charge $20 for a service and another can charge $200 and they're both on the same street? What's the difference? Their skill. One has invested into higher level of skill beyond the basic training that is offered out there. If you want to do hair and makeup, why start at the bottom? You can learn expert skills and earn professional money doing something you absolutely love. That's why I'm excited about XMH Beauty. Xtina Harmsworth has a track record of results, a professional hair and makeup artist working with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. She wants to help you achieve your dreams by teaching you her professional beauty techniques and insider secrets that will set you apart from everyone else. So don't sit on your dream another minute. Learn from the best. Get in touch with Xtina today. xmhbeauty.com. Again, that's xmhbeauty.com.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
You can love your job, but your job won't love you back. That is a quote by Kathy Black. She is actually the president and chairman of Hearst Publications. Yeah, it's kind of a very successful company. Obviously, a very successful person. It's true. I found this to be true, but maybe you haven't found it to be true. You know, I think that here in today's world, people are believing that they cannot have successful relationships and successful businesses or finances at the same time, that somehow they got to give one or the other up. And unfortunately, we're watching a younger generation that is saying, forget it, I don't even want to get married. I much rather have a successful career. I do not want to deal with getting married. In fact, studies have proven that kids are waiting into their late 20s, even early 30s before they're getting married and even having kids. Wow. That's like a shock. It goes to show you a massive shift of mindset and a massive trend inside of a population that once was family oriented, but today is like, forget it, man. Listen, I got to tell you the truth here. I remember in my early days, you're probably not going to like me very much after this, but hey, deal with it. Because here on the Dani Johnson Show, we believe in transparency and we believe in telling you the truth about success. There is truth about it, and there's some lies about it, and 98% of the population is out there following the lies about it. They're either just giving up success financially and giving up financial freedom for the family unit to be whole, but that means the family unit isn't whole because they're suffering under debt. So some are like, they haven't even gotten into the game of trying to become successful financially. They just have. They're like, forget it, that'll never happen. I'll just go ahead and hopefully that my family will be successful. But then the family's under crazy financial pressure, right? Okay, then there's the flip side of it. That was like I was 2 decades ago. And here's what it was. People would ask me, like, hey, listen, you can ask me anything about business. I got the business thing dialed, man. I got the thing dialed. I went from homeless to a millionaire inside of 2 years. Bam, I got this one. But don't you dare ask me about marriage. Don't even come close to asking me about marriage because I suck at that. That I am a failure at. That I don't understand. That I am not good at. I'm not cut out for it. That's what I used to believe. Until I had a monster wake-up call with a nervous breakdown and a heart attack. All the stress and pressure of all the money that I was making and the businesses that I was running, 2 companies at the time, full-time, working both of them full-time. I was working 100 hours a week. It was terrible. And then I found the truth. And the truth was that I could actually have it all, and that I could actually work less hours, get more done, make more money, and spend a whole lot more time with my family. And it first started with cutting my hours back. It didn't start with making more money. It started with just saying, forget it. I am not going to be a slave to this anymore, and this isn't worth it. In fact, I remember that day. I had actually tried to commit suicide about a month before. Thank God my husband saved my life, and thank God he's a martial artist because he would not have been able to disarm me if he hadn't been. And I remember just coming to the place of going, it was actually a place of surrender. It wasn't giving up, it was surrender. And I just said, you know, I could care less if I become the laughing stock of the universe. I don't care if people mock me. I don't care if they judge me. I don't care if I totally go broke. This life I'm living is not worth it. My business became my slave driver. That sucks. Never vacationing, never happy, faking it with people, trying to pitch that everything was great, but oh my gosh, everything was a disaster. So there are skills you can learn. And there are ways to live where you literally can have the success that you want financially and in your business or your career, whatever that is, as well as have it at home. It's just a skill to learn. So, do you actually believe it is possible? Do you want that kind of success? Or are you of the belief that you can't? You either have to have one or the other. So let's go over here, and we got Roger on the phone from Minnesota. Roger, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Hello, Roger. Roger must have muted his line. Let's go up here to Dana from Utah. Dana, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi.
Hi.
I believe that you can. I believe that you can both have a successful marriage and a career. It is a challenge, and I almost lost my marriage, and I definitely lost my children's childhood. Learning that, it took me. I was a nurse for 20 years. I worked 5-6 days a week, 16 hours to 19 hours a day, missed everything that had to do with my children. And I remember one day at work looking at the families that would hug me, and they just loved me to death, and thinking that at home I was missing one of my children's birthdays again.
Wow. That had to be a horrifying, defining moment right there. Hold on the line. We are going to continue. I got to hear more of this story right after this.
Do you know what's been holding you back? The way you think. It's time to take on a whole new mindset. Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First steps to success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS. Are you ready for a whole new mindset? This is the Dani Johnson Show.
There you are. You're having some joy at work. And people are loving you and thanking you, and it feels so rewarding. Yet in the back of your head, you realize that you have forsaken the most important post, the most important assignment that you should never forsake, and that you should never give up and put into the hands of somebody else. That's exactly where Dana found herself 20 years as a nurse. She was just explaining to us that, all the joy and the Thanksgiving that she would receive at work as a nurse, but yet she realized that she was missing her child's birthday. Dana, what was that like? That's crazy.
When I finally looked at it, I was sitting at my nurse's card, and I looked out the window, and I could see people lining up to sign up to get the holidays off, and I knew this was going to be the 19th year that I was going to miss Christmas because I couldn't go out there and stand in line. I just started crying because my daughter had said to me, "Do you realize, Mom, we haven't spent a holiday together since I was 2. And she was getting married, and I wasn't going to have that chance again. It was all their childhood was gone, and I had spent it at work. I mean, I was a single parent. It started out I was a single parent, and I needed to be there. I needed to do the 2 jobs. I needed to support them. Their father didn't. But now I was at a point in my life where I was remarried, and I didn't need to do that. And here I was, still doing it. You know, you really get a job that fulfills you, and you get caught up in it. You really do get caught up in it.
Wow.
So
that just breaks me. I can't imagine how you felt.
I know. I cry to this day. It is such regret. Yeah. It is such regret. So I did what my employer didn't want me to do. I mean, they loved me there. I was such a good employee. I rose to the top as hard as I could go in the chain because I was very, very good at my job. But I turned in my notice and I came home.
Yes.
To start a business, making my husband very unhappy because of the income loss.
Wow.
I remember him saying to me that day, I looked at him and he said, "You don't have to worry about the birthday party. It doesn't matter. I'll be there." And I thought to myself, I don't matter? Are you saying I don't matter? And I realized that I didn't matter. I didn't matter anymore. The kids had moved on, and he took over, and they went on without me.
Wow.
It's such a regret. I can't even tell you how much regret that is, because I can never, ever get that back.
No. Dana, I know that there's a mom listening right now, and I know that there's great conviction happening inside of her, and I'm so grateful for your transparency and your humility. Now, I want you to tell me, you said that you couldn't go stand in line to request Christmas off. Was that because you were too busy, or you thought you couldn't do that?
Well, as a nurse, you can't leave your patients. You have to stay on the floor. I worked in a nursing home. I had 26 patients. And my aides, the people that, I supervised, I let them go to stand in line to, you had to stand in line to sign on a piece of paper what holiday you wanted off. And the ones at the top got what they wanted, and the ones at the bottom got what was, everybody, you had to work.
So let me ask you this.
So when I looked out the window and I saw everybody lining up from outside, from inside the building, going around the building to sign up for these holidays, I already knew I wasn't going to get to do it.
Wow. So looking back, and obviously that is regretful, looking back, you're probably thinking there was something I probably could have done. There was something I probably could have done to get those Christmases off, especially with being at the top of the chain.
Well, no.
No, Dana, listen to me. Dana, listen to me.
Different career than other
Dana,
careers.
I'm so sorry. Dana, I'm so sorry, and I'm sorry to argue with you, but I just have to tell you, I have thousands of nurses that are my clients. And they were in the same exact situation, and they learned how to communicate and find a way to make that happen. See, that's the problem. What happens to us is that we get in our head that we can't, so that we don't even try. We don't even explore what those options are. And so that's what I'm trying to say to the mom that's listening right now, because you're sitting there telling us you had so much regret. And we're trying to now help that young mother that is where you were 20 years ago to say, find a way or find a different career, because it's not worth it, is it? And so what you did say was, even after you remarried, you didn't have to keep working like that, but you did. And what was it? It was a mindset. It was a mindset that said, I have to. I have no other option. This is all I can do. Does that make sense?
Yes, that's true. I had got into that.
Yep.
I got in my mind that I had to work because I had to provide. And then one day I turned around and looked and saw that really I didn't need to do that anymore.
Yep. And then it was too late. So what do you say to that single mom?
I say that there are other options. Like, I have a hard time with confrontation, and so I made, I don't have any other family. My parents moved out when I was 17 and left me. I came home from school, they were moved, and so I have been on my own since I was 17. But a lot of people, they have family or someone else to depend on, and I don't do well with confrontation. So if someone said to me, no, you're not going to do that, you have to do this, I did it.
Yeah.
But there is a time to fight, and to fight for your kids is that time. And I should have done that. I should have fought for them. I should have fought for I was their mom.
Yes.
That's who they had. They didn't have anybody else. And I didn't. I should have. I didn't. Yeah. And now I retired from nursing. I'm starting my own thing, and I want my family around, but they got their own thing going, and
well, Dana, here's what I'm going to
trust that I'm going to be there.
Exactly. And guess what? Life is not over, and life with your children is not over, and it's never too late. So what I want you to do is please consider adjusting your priorities. Have you ever heard of time secrets?
I just heard you mention it a little bit ago. I wrote it down.
Please write it down, and not only write it down, but take action here, because you're going to have grandkids.
Okay.
And you don't want to miss out on them. You don't want to miss out on having a relationship with your daughters as adults. Because I really know, I've seen it happen with thousands of my clients who have studied time secrets. And time secrets has healed so many relationships with the parents and their adult children and have restored. It's almost as though the time lost during their childhood had been restored. Now, we can never get that time back. But what a lot of parents do is they say, I lost that time, so now it's over. It is not over. It's not over. You're going to watch your daughters become women, mothers, career people. You're going to have a deeper friendship with them as long as you learn from the experience of what happened for the first 19 years of their life. And so Time Secrets is going to show you how to have that business not control you, because you have a habit, Dana, right? As I had a habit. I had 7 years of a habit of working 100 hours a week. That's what I had. I had a 7-year habit of not being with my family. I had a 7-year habit of being toxic with my husband. So that's all I knew. And we do what we've been trained to do. Time Secrets can retrain you, and where you will be able to learn how to manage your time in such a way to where your life is not living you, but you're living it. And that you will be able to have an amazing relationship with your girls as adults, and you'll be able to have amazing relationships with their husbands and have amazing relationships with their children. You can do that moving forward, because it's not over. Oh my gosh, Dana, I am so grateful for you. Oh my gosh, I'm so, so grateful for you. What an amazing lesson to learn and to move forward. And if you're listening right now and you are in the same shoes that Dana was in, and her testimony just shook you inside, I'm telling you, get Time Secrets, because you really can have it all. It's just a matter of skill and strategy. Once we've convinced ourselves that, oh, it won't work and I can't do it, then you don't even look for solutions. There is a solution. Go to DaniJohnson.com now. Don't wait. Don't wait. And even if you're not a single mom, full-time, parents that are working, I don't care if you're married or single, it doesn't matter. You need this secret of managing your time, getting more done with less time, making yourself more valuable in the marketplace so you have negotiating power with the job so that you can go and get done what you need to get done and have the appropriate time with your family, and keeping your family first and fighting for that time with your family, because you can never get it back. You can never, ever, ever get it back. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to continue with more clues and strategies on how you can have more success in every area of your life right after this.
While politicians talk about ideas, one lady is in the trenches with people, getting her hands dirty and giving people real hope. Her name is Dani Johnson, and this is The Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson. The most common question I get usually are from people who are trying to juggle their life. They've got kids who are involved in all kinds of activities. They've got business or their job, finances, trying to get out of debt, plus all their church activities and all the volunteer activities. And they're pulling their hair out going, how do I juggle this all? Man, I once lived just like that until I learned Time Secrets. Time Secrets showed me how to be able to cut my hours from 100 hours a week that I was working down to 20 hours a week, and tripled my income as a direct result with what I learned. Time Secrets also showed me how to get my priorities in order, which healed up my marriage. And I became a mother that I was proud of, versus becoming the mother I didn't want to be. And so if you feel like your world is running around in all kinds of different circles, you can fix that. Call 888-757-8880. Again, 888-757-8880 for Time Secrets.
And now, back to the Dani Johnson Show.
Dani, I'm just so overwhelmed. There's so many moving parts. There's too many things going on. I just can't seem to get my life under control. I've heard that thousands of times. No exaggeration, I promise you, I've heard that thousands of times. People have written it to me, people have said it in my ears, and yes, that is a problem. And this is why priorities are a must. Keeping your priorities straight. First of all, establish what are the priorities that are important for your life. That is an important thing to establish, because if you don't establish that, then you're in big, huge trouble. And your life slips away. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, we are about defining success, real success, holistic success, not partial success. Not only success in your business or only in your finances or only in your marriage, but the entire thing. Health-wise, spiritually, maritally, relationally with your kids as a parent, with the coworkers that you work with your clients, with your finances, having a healthy relationship there. Every single day here on the Dani Johnson Show, we bring you content and messaging and strategies that can help you really define what success is for you. Is it possible? Yes. I have thousands of people living that kind of a life. So if you are in a situation right now where you feel things are just, Get ready for this next segment because I believe that you're going to find some solutions that will help you. We've got Mary on the line from California. Mary, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. Do you believe it's possible to have success in every area?
Yes, I do.
Tell me why.
My husband's in the Marine Corps, and I think that you have to find the balance, but and I think that there's a big part of it is differentiating what to bring home from work and what to leave at work.
Yep.
For bringing home your work usually doesn't, it interferes with your at-home life with your kids and with your family and with your wife.
Yep.
Or husband. So he's had a successful career so far, and that's what he puts his family before his work, which in the military is not always the case.
It's not only in the military, Mary.
So
that's in every profession. I promise you. The military has nothing to do with it. It's your husband's leadership that has everything to do with it. And he's a real father. He's a real husband because he's keeping his priorities straight. Trust me. Let's go over to corporate America. Let's find the mechanics. And by the way, it's not just husbands. It's wives too. Okay, we just interviewed Erin Hudson, and Erin Hudson is a chiropractor. She had 2 chiropractic offices right there in Huntington Beach, California. She was working nonstop, 60+ hours a week, never at home for dinner, wasn't tucking her own 4 children into bed at night. Okay, fighting all the time with her husband. This was the woman who was consumed with money and consumed with work. She said, I would sit there and watch the movie with my kids. No, I wouldn't watch the movie. I was working while they were watching the movie. She never spent time with her family. She was buried with work. So it's not just men, it's women. And it takes leadership and it takes learning new skills. And the skill of my family is a higher priority than my job. And it doesn't mean you're less committed on the job. It means you're more committed to your family, which is what you're supposed to be.
Right.
You're blessed. So tell me, as a wife, what does this do to you? As a woman, as a wife, as a mother, what does this provoke in you on how you feel about your man?
Well, it's definitely nice living on a military base. You see such a variety of people, especially when it comes to the actual military personnel. So I know that he puts his family first, and I know that he puts us first, and especially our daughter. And that's the first thing. I know he's a fantastic father. He walks in the door, and she's the thing that he goes after first, that he beelines for, is to see her after he's done a long day at work. So it's definitely.
How do you feel about your husband, Mary? How do you feel about him because How do you feel about him because he lives this way?
I never thought about that too much, I guess. Like specifically how I feel because that's the way he is. That's kind of a tough question.
Do you respect him?
Yes. I have a big, yes.
Do you trust him?
That he handles things and separates things.
Yes. And do you trust this man?
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Yes. And the reason why you trust...
There's nothing about it that I doubt.
Exactly. The reason why you trust and respect this man, which, by the way, that's what all men want from their wives, is trust and respect. The reason why you trust and respect this man is because he has his priorities straight. That's the key to a successful marriage. That's the key to successful relationships with your kids. When your kids know that they are a higher priority than work, when your spouse knows that he is or she is a higher priority than the work, it automatically fosters trust and respect. There is no respect without trust. None. There is no love without respect. None. And so here we have people, especially, just men and women both, that are working, thinking that's what's going to get them respect from their spouse. It's not. Yes, work. But when work becomes your God, now we destroy the relationships in the home, and it's not worth it. And I promise you, your husband will prosper greatly in his job because he keeps his priorities straight. And he'll prosper and grow and continue to grow because he is a respectable man, because he keeps his priorities straight. Mary, thanks so much for that call, man. That's awesome. Congratulations, and I'm happy for you. I mean, really, really happy for you. We got Sarah from Pennsylvania. Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, Dani.
Hi.
I believe, I believe, marriage and success are possible. I'm 25, but, everybody else around me, I've seen them either be really good at their job or, and like you said, if one fails, the other's probably going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. And for me, I've been working a lot and trying to go to school. And I don't have a lot of time for relationships, and I'm still, struggling to find balance. Like I said, I'm 25.
So you're not married. You're single.
No, I'm single.
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, how in the world do I get married? Well, honey, let me tell you something. Right now, you're training yourself with some habits, and the habits is called workaholic. And so you have to learn how to manage your time just as a mother or a single parent does. And why is that? Because we get into the habit of doing nothing but work, study, work, study. And then all of a sudden, if you end up married, guess what you're still thinking about? Guess what you're still working on? And so it is really important to adjust your timelines, learn the secrets of time, learn what I learned 19 years ago called time secrets. You need to get a hold of that, especially as a student and as a person that is working in the workforce, because your life is going to slip by. Look, you're already 25. You are already 25 years old. I know that went really fast for you, didn't it? Like, bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guess what? 35 is going to be right around the corner, and you might still be single. And so you've got to learn how to adjust priorities and adjust your time so you can actually live life instead of life living you. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Don't go away. The next segment might just change your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show.
Hi, this is Dani Johnson. Let me ask you something. How many weddings have you been to in the last year? A bunch, right? Think about it. Wedding bells ringing, champagne flowing, and the bride looking like a model on the biggest day of her life. So that's where there will always be a need for skilled hair and makeup professionals. Why couldn't that be you? The key is getting the right training. XMHbeauty.com does workshops giving that training. Xtina Harmsworth has a track record of results as a professional makeup artist in Hollywood, working with some of the biggest names. One makeup artist recently had the confidence to book 3 weddings after attending Xtina's workshop, and then reported that she handled 7 bridal clients on location in one day. That's serious cash. You don't have to move to Hollywood to make serious cash as a makeup and hair artist. Go visit XMHbeauty.com today. Again, that's XMHbeauty.com. So get to that site immediately and start following your dream. XMHbeauty.com. For families in Santa Pancha, Nicaragua, life is filled with fear and struggle. They don't have enough food for their kids, clean water is hard to find, and they're living in a decrepit, unsafe hovel on top of mining tunnels that could explode and sink at any moment. But a miracle is in the making, and you can be a part of transforming this village. Go to kingsransom.org and click on Santa Pancha to see how you can help. That's kingsransom.org, kingsransom.org, and click on Santa Pancha.
The thing that's been holding you back is between your ears. It's time for a whole new mindset.
You must become fierce with protecting your time. You must fight to keep your priorities straight. Why? Because we live in a society that is trying to rob you of your precious time. We live in a society that is throwing every possible thing at you to try to get you off of the time you should be spending truly living life. What do I mean by living life? If you're married, having a great relationship with your spouse, having time with them, with your kids, with your family. But instead, what we live in today is a society that thinks that success is work, number 1 priority, number 2, work, number 3, work, number 4, work, number 5, work. Family? Who are they? What are that? Listen, you don't have to live like everybody else. You truly can have it all. And not only that, you can design your life to be the life that you actually feel is worth living and a life filled with purpose. Here on the Dani Johnson Show, every single day, we are tackling these kinds of issues to show you step by step how to be able to have success without sacrificing your family, your fun, or your health. How can you be successful in business, your career, and your finances, as well as those really personal relationships that really, really matter to you, right? That's what we've been talking about today. And top of that, listen, so many people want to do something extra special with their life. They want to have purpose in their life. They want to have meaning in their life. So they want not only to have wonderful relationships at home and as wonderful relationships in their community, but also with those at work, but they want to do something extra special. Listen, you and I share the same passion. You don't want your life to have nothing but a dash in between the year you were born and the year you died. You want to leave a mark on the planet. Well, this is why we are working on a project, and I encourage you to join us on this. Santa Pancha, Nicaragua is at extreme poverty level where a family like Pablo and Sandra have no food, no water, no electricity, and you can't even call what they live in a home because it's not. It's not even a shed. Your shed is in better shape than what they lay their heads down every night to sleep in. We can help them get a brand new home for only $5,200. Not only a brand new home, but in a brand new area. We're building a village for 100 families, and we're putting these 100 families into business for themselves. And these 100 families are going to be sustained for years to come. And these children of these families are going to witness a great miracle of people like you and me who they've never met having the opportunity that were given to them to change and come out of extreme poverty and to sustain themselves. I know you want to help. I know you want to do something awesome with your life. Go right now to kingsransom.org. That's kingsransom.org and give what you can. Instead of going through the drive-thru of Starbucks or McDonald's today, wheel out of there and go to kingsransom.org right now and give that $5 or $10 you were about to spend, or $20 if you had the kids with you. Give that instead, and we can put food on the table for Pablo and their children. Go now, click on Santa Pancha, Nicaragua right when you hit kingsransom.org. Do the right thing. That's it for us today. God bless you, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
In your face and in your corner. You've never had a coach like this before. This is the Dani Johnson Show. Did you know you can see Dani Johnson live and in person? Go to DaniJohnson.com and find out about our next live event. First steps to success. Register today. Call 866-760-8255 or go to DaniJohnson.com/FSTS.